Hey guys, my name is Jet, and today I'm going to be talking about a few not-so-obvious repercussions of having Ordnance in the next Halo game. Those of you who prefer to read can just pause this video right now and read everything that's written below. It's all the same stuff, so you won't really be missing much. Alright, so, Halo is an ever-evolving game, and over the years, and with the addition of each subsequent game, some things have changed and some things have, stayed the same. The result is a game that has been reinvented 4 times, each slightly different than the last, but all still having that same familiar Halo feel. With the addition of Halo Reach, the Halo series had received a whole new mess of mechanics to play with: armor abilities. While armor abilities did add a whole new dimension to play, they weren't at all balanced and really ended up hurting more than enhancing the experience. Halo Reach officially marked the end of Bungie's reign over the series, after which the legacy was passed on to 343. Since acquiring Halo, 343 has been very hard at work. They've decided to take the theory behind Reach and really, take it to another level. With the addition of permanent sprint, perks, and new armor abilities, Halo 4 is going to be filled with more content than any other Halo to date. The last major and arguably most game-changing addition to the new Halo, and the one I'm going to be talking about today, is Ordnance. Ordnance is such an interesting topic for 2 totally separate reasons, and they're both awesome, so I'm going to go into both of them. The first actually occurred to me yesterday while I was getting schooled in the 1v1. I was playing on Sanctuary, and honestly, I don't know the weapon times for Reach anymore. I really only play to keep my shot up. But anyway, that's not the point. This isn't about why I was getting owned, it's about how I was getting owned. My opponent always had the edge on me because he almost always either had sniper, rockets, or camo. I just didn't have enough knowledge of the map, so whenever something was coming up, he was there first. I can fully understand and accept that that's my fault, but I still couldn't help but feel totally dissatisfied when the final score came up 15-5. It was clear from the fights in the game, which were really close, that he wasn't 3 times better than me, but the final score doesn't lie, so I began to feel as though I wasn't judged fairly. Then I realized how Halo games have always been like that. They've always been about knowledge of the map and control of the power weapons. From that, it occurred to me that Halo has always limited itself in that sense, in regards to newcomers. Players trying to get into Halo have always been penalized for not having extensive knowledge of a game before actually starting to play it. It can be very discouraging to new players to stick around with the game when they feel helpless. It doesn't matter how good a shot they are if the enemy is constantly coming at them with power weapons. And remembering spawn times for weapons is not easy if you haven't done it before. The Halo way of stomping on you until you remember just isn't really popular with anybody other than avid Halo fans. Now comes along Ordnance. The purpose of Ordnance is obviously to make it easier for new Halo players to get into Halo. If players can summon their bonus directly to themselves, then they can still get rewarded for playing well without extensive map knowledge. This will be good for the overall growth of the community because I think it will be sucking a lot of those casuals in who didn't get into Halo before, specifically because they didn't want to lose 100 games in a row while learning all the intricacies of the game. And I can totally understand the reasoning behind that. I can't blame them for not wanting to go through that grind of games where you have to just lose over and over and over again. It's not fun. Halo has never had a welcoming environment until now. And I think that will have a profound effect on the growth of the community. I think we're going to see a lot of players coming to Halo 4, when I'm going to say it, when Black Ops 2 inevitably fails hard because it looks terrible, but when that eventually happens, we're going to get a huge influx of players, and I gotta say, Halo looks like a game that people can just pick up and play, and that's exactly what those COD players want. They want something that's fun, competitive, but also something they can pick up and play, and that's not something we've had in a Halo game ever until now. And that's why I'm kind of loving this Ordnance thing, because, on one hand, it's fucking weird, right? It is weird, and I'm not used to it, and I don't think I'll ever be completely used to it, but you know what? It's good for the growth of the game, and so I love it, man. This is the best fucking thing ever. And it's also pretty damn great because it just happens to align with our goals. I mean, the more popularity this gets, the more popularity we get. That means more viewers, more money, and more sponsorships. This is what we want. Anyways, if you haven't already realized it by now, Ordnance is completely changing the way Halo's played. The playing field is being leveled, sorta. Halo's no longer going to be about controlling the power weapons, because the power weapons are going to come to you. You're going to earn them. Yeah, power weapons will still drop on the map, but I think most people are going to be getting theirs from their personal drops, from their personal ordnance drops. This actually works very effectively to its intended purpose, because gameplay in Halo 4 is now shifting towards DMR, Carbine, and BR, as we've seen in the MLG stream. Power has shifted towards these utility weapons because players are encouraged to get kills in order to earn Ordnance. And what are they getting kills with? Well, they're starting weapons. The BRs, the Carbines, and the DMRs. They're balancing things out by giving all the players the same possible advantage, but only if they're good enough with their starting weapons. And that's a big if, because everybody knows those guns all have high skill caps and are very hard to master. But thanks to 343, in order to earn Ordnance, you're gonna have to have at least some skill with them. What this does is take power away from players that only used to dominate because they were able to take full advantage of the weapon spawns. It kinda evens the playing field and encourages players who don't have power weapons to continue fighting in the hopes of earning power weapons and other power-ups. The other thing it does is also open the door up to newer players, so that when they do join a game, they can earn power-ups too. They don't have to necessarily have extensive map knowledge before they can enjoy the game. All they have to do is get a couple kills, and they'll get a shotgun, and they'll be happy. It'll be great. And if a player's actually good, he should be able to consistently out-BR his opponent, not just dominate him with power weapons. The only people who are complaining about this are people who can't aim. Overall, I have to say that I'm pretty okay with the direction that Halo 4 is going. There are some pretty obvious changes that need to be made. Promethean vision. Sorry, something in my throat. But I feel as though 343 is going to take the time to work out all the kinks. They really put a lot of effort into this game, and it shows.